All right. Go!
New Joe Budden. New Warrior now.
This Parks.
Microphone check 1, 2. What is this?
New Joe Budden. New Warrior now.
Parks on the boards.
Yes!
Listen, back to the business. Back to the business. Effective immediately, the Joe Budden podcast will be bringing 2 additional bonus episodes to Patreon. You can go to Patreon right now, and that page is up. I left a cool little greeting video there for you guys. It looks a little nerdy, but that's my corporate Joe swag
And you can't help it.
in delivering to you. Really? I'm just not cool, right?
I mean,
There's nothing cool about me, right?
there's coolness.
It's fine.
There's coolness in your uncoolness. Like
I'll take it.
I'm feeling the Def Jam poetry sweater today, but I'm a nerd too, so it's cool.
Is that what this is? A Def Poetry Jam?
Yo, Savo, you got some bongos you can play for Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I left a cool little introduction vid for you there telling you what to expect, but I'll tell you now. Excuse me. Starting February 8th, we will be releasing 2 additional episodes of the Joe Budden podcast live on Patreon. We will be bringing bonus episodes, bonus footage, behind the scenes clips, more unwanted opinions, more unwanted mall political takes, more unfiltering of what we thought was as unfiltered as can be. We will be bringing that all to Patreon under 3 different tiers. We have a $5 tier. We have a $10 tier. Or is it 15? Damn it, I should have made it 15.
$15 tier, it's not too late.
A $5 tier, a $10 tier, and a $25 tier, which is the most expensive right now.
That 25 gonna be the non-mean though.
25
That's where
gets
the
you
content gonna
everything.
be.
That gets you the 2 pods, the bonus clips. That gets you
Joe crying on
New-
camera.
really?
Yeah.
I'll cry on camera for 25 on that tier. Are y'all gonna cry?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's our version of the moment.
That'll get you Rory going through severe depression in real time.
constipation.
We get that on this for free.
That gets you fucking Parks kissing Rim's ass throughout the whole relationship. What more could you want?
Nah, let's not do that because the shit we get into on Patreon is so many of y'all got so sensitive, and because our podcast grew, it grew to the casual, sensitive fan. Mm-hmm. So let's focus on the people that we know really, really rock with us, and we could get back to the non-mean fun shit that we love.
Right.
We get into the shit on Patreon.
True.
It's not
felt that
for
way.
the sensitive.
This is not a pitch.
It's not
It
for the
really has
sensitive.
felt that
If you want
way.
to be corny and pay $25 to record the Patreon to then try to cancel us, at least you paid.
Yeah.
I could live with that.
Yeah.
Pay $25 to cancel us this time.
Yeah.
So at $5, you'll get 1 additional episode plus some bonus shit. At $10, you'll get 2 additional episodes plus some bonus shit. You'll get Discord engagement, real active community over there.
Because Patreon and Discord are partners or owned by the same people.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
They
Something
work
in the inner work.
They work in conjunction with one another.
Yeah.
I want to get
I don't know
into
who owns what, but I'll be there.
I want to get into some music shit too for like new artists and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I think there'll be some cool ways that we could really interact with all the people that love our sleeper pick segment and want us to really get involved with their music and that type of degree on a real personal level. I think we could do that on Patreon and make it a really dope thing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think we could do some real cool music shit on there.
Yeah, for $25, I'll shit on the upcoming artist.
Come on.
Literally or
I took it literally.
I'll just shit on something for $25.
Oh, no.
Or who.
Listen, I can't guarantee this, but I had on that list for our bonus content.
I thought you were
We
gonna
was
say you
really
couldn't
doing the
guarantee
mall,
you
the
shitting.
mall MTV Cribs. That's got to happen.
You want to go to the trap? It's going to cost more than $25, though. You heard?
I urge everyone out there, if you're looking for additional content from the Joe Budden podcast, to subscribe to our Patreon. I don't care which tier you subscribe to, as long as you're there, you're gang.
Yeah.
And that's that, man. We look forward to kicking it with y'all, and we've really had a lot of fun and a real good time almost like the old days recording some of these Thursday episodes. It's a different energy.
I've had so
It
much
is a
fun doing
different
those.
vibe.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it just does seem like we care a little less. Maybe because we're behind a paywall.
It could be that. It's just a better energy when you don't have to care. It's
different,
of the person that you know doesn't even really care about your podcast, but will make sure they'll feel important by saying, "Look at all the negative things they're saying. I'm such a good person. I would never say this." Like once you get that corny person out of the way, you just have more fun on a podcast.
Yeah.
In addition, Joe Budden has been brought on as head of creator equity at Patreon.
Give yourself a good shot, round of applause. all
Boy,
that
I
cool
wish
shit.
I had better gunshots. I'm hitting a round of applause.
Congrats, man. I think that's really dope. And I think it fits you well.
What does
I'll
that
try
mean?
to break that down some more.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Joe has been brought on not only in title and position, but in an advisory role. Let me say it different again. Joe Budden is the head of creator equity at a rapidly growing tech company evaluated at over $1 billion pre-IPO.
Air horn.
Nah. Let it sit. Let it sit in silence. Let's give it a minute for people to ping their friends to the room. I'm going to give this a minute to breathe. I'm going to allow some of you to go get your Robitussin.
You're showing your age.
Buckley's.
Really showing your age. Yeah, way older.
I'm going to allow people time to go get their Advil, cold, and sinus. Why is that so low? Can you turn this up?
Sure.
This is a moment. I'm going to allow people time to get their Advil, cold, and sinus because you about to be sick. That guy got to get back in the booth.
I'm glad you're at Patreon.
That was the Jesus Christ beat you said I needed? I think that was the beat, right? Email it.
That was the beat.
You got my email, Joe Budden? Forget it.
That was the beat.
Listen, I'm going to allow time for you guys to go ping your friends and get all of the bloggers and podcasters that thought we were down when it appeared that we were down and spread these lies and these false narratives that we conducted bad business. Boy, that was a topic for weeks.
But who cares?
I do.
Let them talk.
No.
We know what's happening.
No.
Have fun with perception.
No.
I'm cool.
And no. Nah. Enough of that.
Why? Well, no, go ahead. Keep your rant going.
Enough of it because it's happened. It's occurred for 5 years. Enough of it because it's occurred for 6 years. Enough of it because as head of creator equity, there's some things that we need to normalize. And this is one. We're not going to just skip right over this. Too many times, too many creators have made too much of an impact at too many companies without being able to participate in any upside.
That's not what my point. So,
No,
yeah.
I'm not on your point.
Yeah, okay.
I'm on a me point.
Because that's not what I was saying at all. But
Well, tell
continue.
me what you were saying before I get in the rant.
After. No, keep going.
That's just occurred way too many times. And I was coming in here for months and months and months. It's almost like the kid at school that dresses cool and has looked fly the whole year. I'm never saying that Joe looked fly at school the whole year. But when the kid that looks fly all year shows up to the prom without a date, just looking fly, guess what? Nobody cares. I seen you looking fly all year long. What is it that you about to do different? And see, for a while, for me, it felt like my words. You know what I mean? It's a lot of words. Y'all used to me coming in here ranting and raving and telling you what's wrong. And self-deprecation has become a thing on this podcast. It's helped us to greatness. And Savon don't want to tell y'all about how much he trusts me at the helm publicly. Alex don't neither.
They have to go to Patreon for our intervention that we did on there.
That's true.
Did. It was a really good intervention.
Had a great episode on there.
And I appreciate you for that. That was fun. Maul, you missed that episode.
Yeah.
Good intervention.
But the point is, for so long, you come in here with these words, they watched us leave Spotify, right? And it just looked a certain way. And I couldn't come in here and refute some of the perception and some of the narratives that were going on because it's more talk. Mm-hmm. Why do it take for Patreon to give Joe this position? Like, why didn't this happen before? How could you be impactful in so many different places and raise market share in so many different places and just adhere to the broken monetization systems that are in place for creatives? Sorry, those days are over.
Real shit.
So, Mon, when you ask me what it means, I can't tell you what head of creator equity means, because look up the word equity. Equity means equal, equality, fair, right? And I can't tell you what that means today, because all of it is broke. Mm-hmm. It's all broken. I've been running around here saying, I've been telling every company that had ears, I've been telling every board member, every executive suite, this guy's best friend, this guy's right-hand man, anybody with ears, yo, I don't want any money. Another thing we need to normalize. What the fuck is in advance?
A
Bad loan.
A bank loan.
A bad bank.
Then let's not call it an advance. See, little shit like that, Maul. Like, it's just certain habits and practices and conditioning that's been normalized that now there's a company that agrees that the shit has been wrong. And not only do they agree that the shit has been wrong, they also happen to be paying you niggas the fucking highest payout possible for your creations. Don't ask me why Patreon is happening now. Go check your payouts on your streams. Go check your payouts where the videos are. Hey, you niggas not tired yet? Niggas ain't sleepy. Niggas ain't tired of getting the same result from doing the same fucking thing. It's boring. I want this to symbolize a shift in the thinking, and it's the shit that I've been saying here all along. Like, fam, the guard is changing, and creators have the leverage. And if y'all not going to treat us accordingly, then we're going to go and make our own decisions and do our own thing. And some of these platforms is going to have to get used to a whole community of people upping and leaving. Or you're just going to have to acknowledge who exactly is raising the market share around certain places. So I want to celebrate this because it is huge. It is huge. Dennis Rodman only ever cared about a board.
And these hoes.
Board first.
He missed the game. Get that carbon pussy. Go on.
It's a whole lot. Hey, for Black History Month, Rory's being funny right now. Rory's really funny. So I don't want to step on Rory being funny. But for Black History Month, boy, it's a lot of those fake titles being thrown around. I know because I did it. I got the complex, gave myself a fake title, and them white niggas hated it. But they couldn't say a word. Know why? Was too successful. Got the Spotify, created a fucking title. I didn't even know that was the game in corporate. I never had no corporate job. They make titles up. They do shit. They make shit up.
All the time.
That's it. I mean, I didn't know. Nobody told me.
Yeah.
Got the Spotify, made up a fucking title. They couldn't say nothing. Was too successful. Got the Revolt and got a title. That's a black dude. He should get it. This is a whole white dude. This is a whole white dude at a growing tech company trusting a young black creative to say, hey, Let's work together on some things. Not just that, but a creator that started a fucking platform because he was getting shorted on the payout on his shit. So let me paint the picture a little bit clearer for the idiots that were talking a few months ago. We took some of Cash App and Bitcoin. They allowed it. Bitcoin in 2010 was worth, what, 9 cents, 38 cents, something like that, something stupid like that. 10 years later, it's at, what, 38 grand? You want me to come in here and tell you how my God always looks out for me? I could not imagine that this would be the place, the fucking state of the stock market. So if I go to Cash App and say, hey, niggas is doing real shit, we need a way to participate more. I need a way for 1 million to potentially turn to 5, 10, 15. And they grant it? Stop playing with me out here. Head of creator equity at Patreon? Do you know all the steps that had to happen for this to happen? Don't listen to this and say, oh, no, I see where Joe's coming from. No, the fuck you don't. You wasn't near year one of that Spotify deal where they offered niggas $15 million in a growing market and niggas had to say no. You know how much self-serving shit I walked away from? You wasn't there in year two when they said, hey, 21 mil and all your rights. You wasn't there when that next company came and said, hey, 30 mil for y'all and all y'all rights. Don't listen to me now and say, oh, nah, Joe, I see where you was going. You wouldn't have did it, nigga.
That's another thing.
You wouldn't have done it. And that be my point. I'm real responsible moving around with some of the decisions that I make because we set the bar. Don't let the jokes confuse you. Any decision that Joe makes potentially becomes the standard for any creator to follow. Why the fuck am I taking $30 million? What does it do for the wave that comes after me? Ping them niggas in here that was talking that shit. You might not see what's going on. Spotify undervalued niggas and 3 months later it was podcasts popping up every month. It ain't cheap. Stop playing with Joe out here. If Joe ain't showed you nothing else in 20 years, it's that Joe is an accurate digital forecaster and that I know a little bit about what I'm doing. There's a staff of over 40 making this shit run around. I don't know what y'all been looking at jokes and y'all been looking at, I don't know what niggas is paying attention to. Boy, did I want to say this a few months ago. Do y'all see what's happening? Now I should have took the sweater off.
Nah, give him dirty wife.
I'm just
Joe.
saying when you meet somebody, right, that is the owner or head of a company valued the way that they are, and that person, why does it take another creator?
Full circle to what we were talking about with Motown, with Barry, and with Kevin Liles, and certain people that were creators and just great businessmen. It's a different mentality and a different type of executive. Him being one of those at Patreon.
But Rory, I told you I've been watching a lot of docs, right? I've been getting a lot of information. Actually, it's not even a doc. This is from One Night in Miami. Jim Brown goes to visit the owner of the team or a shareholder or somebody that was important. And boy, did they chop it up. They had a blast. The older white man expressed how important Jim Brown was to him, how much money he was betting on Jim Brown, how much he loved Jim Brown and his ability and what he was bringing and doing for the city and so forth and so on. And then dude's car had to get fixed in the back of the house and Jim Brown went to help. And the dude said, you know you can't come in here. You know you can't come in the house. I'll fix it. And I love you out here working, but you can't come in the house. All of this stock shit going on that my parents is into and is forcing me to be into and go get some information. I don't think none of this shit could be coming at a greater at a greater time. Barry Gordy said, if you're not innovating, then you're stagnant. And I only highlight these things because for so long I've been dying to come in here and like talk to the podcast community about all the different steps you have to navigate to like kind of like land in the right place. Like all the no's that have to come before you get the yes. Like luminary, this company, that company. Like when you line things up, to not line your pockets up, but to align with your interests. Mm-hmm. And to align with your vision of what the future looks like. So while this wasn't planned this way, for me, boy, does it seem like poetic justice that you end up with a title on a platform that somehow has gotten the monetization as closest to together as we've seen. If you're on Patreon already, I encourage you to put more content on Patreon. If you're not on Patreon, I encourage you to get familiar, as we all are doing. And I highlight this stuff because as a budding, pardon me, as a budding podcast network, and I don't want to bore people with this stuff, but you hear all the growing concerns of like podcasters. And for me, it takes so much to try to convince people to not put their intellectual property places for free. Because then they start coming up with technology to monitor your mood and your feelings and who's in the room with you and who's not in the room with you and if you're depressed or if you're sad. And they start doing all types of shit when all you do is put your IP somewhere. We got a bag from Spotify, not because Spotify believed in us so much, but because we didn't put our shit on Spotify. We emailed them, yo, we got a podcast that's popping. They wasn't thinking nothing about that. We avoided that. We was trying to get on Google before Google had understanding of what podcast. Talking to YouTube, I'm like, yo, where's the podcast department? Hey. Y'all not equipped?
Right.
Like, does nobody see the wave that's coming is all. Our title talks like I'm down memory lane just with some of the things, as some of the decisions we've had to make as podcasters to protect the sanctity of what we do if we believe in it. And that's a question I'm always faced with, which is, if you believe in it, then what's the option? Like, if you believe in your shit, why not dump all your money into it? When you get a good hand in poker, you put all that shit to the table.
Right.
You push it straight to the middle. What we doing? I'm here.
Risk.
I mean, if we like what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You confident?
We didn't put our podcast on tight. There's a bunch of places we just didn't put our shit, and they all called back. It reminds me of like when Dill was trying to teach me that the worst thing a girl that you was trying to kick it to could do is say no. Sometimes I wouldn't talk to a girl because I was scared and nervous and insecure and broke and a chump.
Right.
Probably ugly, couldn't dress. That dress part never changed. But in my mind, I was like, if it's meant to be, God will put him in front of me again. And I had to learn that in white people business, because that's different. Like for black people, like where we from, like in corporate world, y'all will call if some shit is hot enough. It don't matter what occurred. Y'all will call.
To some degree.
Y'all will source it. Y'all will check. Y'all will vet it. There's no such thing. Like, y'all don't get but so emotional in business because the business is catered around y'all.
Okay.
Like all of the terms and all of the words. There's so much shit wrong in this shit. Perpetuity, what? What is that?
It's forever.
Right.
And they even put the words in the universe in your contract.
Right. I was
That's the funniest thing. If you decide,
Don't try to sell us some Mars.
If you get the technology to build a rocket ship and go try to sell some shit on another planet,
we own that.
We still own that.
Yeah. Don't try it.
Well, Dave Chappelle said he didn't know what that word meant. Mm-hmm.
I didn't either.
And I didn't know what that word meant either. I was doing an interview yesterday, and I'll wrap this up. I was doing an interview yesterday, and they was like...
Hold on, can I quickly, just on the Dave Chappelle point, I did watch a Neil Brennan interview when he said they sent back the Chappelle Show contract when it had the universe part there. You know how you send edits in a contract with lawyers? They put, does this count for Saturn's moons?
Yeah. Gotta ask. I want to know. I might have plans for Saturn.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but since we was talking about the Chappelle shit, not knowing that, when I heard that, I was dying laughing. That's a hilarious note for a lawyer to send back to Viacom.
That is funny.
But yeah, you were doing an interview.
The interviewer said, how long is your contract with Patreon? It's a valid question.
Sure.
Shouldn't be, though.
Depends the interviewer.
Whoever it is, it shouldn't be. That's when I explained, why do it matter if at any point in the relationship either one of us change our minds about how we feel, it's not going to work? I don't have no contract with Ian. If at any point either one of us decide that we go in a different way, it's just not going to work. We're not going to move in concert. That's creator land. Not all this bullshit these niggas be talking about. You know how long it took me to learn what cross-collateralizing an album meant?
Yeah.
Can you explain
It's still
it?
confusing.
I was about to say, can you try to explain it just for people that...
Probably still can't explain it.
Yeah, I was going to say,
They take money from a bunch of different places.
Yeah,
Your
it's
publishing and your sales.
very
which
difficult.
is already confusing itself. At this.
Oh, wait. Shit. That's actually different. That's actually another beef. Hey, your master and your publishing is owned by the same company under a different name.
And why is that different? And why is that even a
Yo.
different thing? But yeah.
You don't own any of that shit. Which is totally different from cross-collateral. Whatever the term is. Cross-collateralizing is when you in the red for one album, your next album sold 10 million, but you still in the red because you was in the red from over there, and we're combining everything together, and we're fudging the expenses.
And sometimes it can be both. Like if your publishing is up and your master recording split is down, it's cross-collateralized. Anyway.
See, that's scary.
Yeah. That shit is messy.
They own us.
Pandemic going on. Niggas can't tour. Niggas could hardly sell merch. A 360 still exists?
Right.
Is Napster still around? Is the industry about to die and we missed it?
No, it's up. It's big up.
There's a long list of things wrong, man. I want to celebrate all the good folks at Patreon. I want to celebrate Carrie, Jack Conti, all the people that helped to make this a really pleasurable experience getting done. And stop playing with Joe. It's just the bottom line, man. I don't want to go on some long, exasperated rant.
It's a good SAT word.
Just stop playing with Joe, man.
And by the way, the labels,
That's
they're finding a new way with the 360.
Oh, yeah.
Can tell y'all firsthand. They're getting right. The content game is the new live show.
They're taking your pod money?
The 360 is going to be the content we shoot with you. Yeah, buddy, you're not getting all that Vivo money or YouTube money. This is ours as well.
I was at the studio the other night listening to some of Conway project, and my guy Shooter. Shout out to Shooter. Shooter was there, and I don't know if y'all know
Allegedly.
Real safe gentleman.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all been keeping up. Shooter, he's been selling his album, his music on his own website for a while, and we was having a really good conversation about that. And I won't put his business out there and say how much he's been making doing that, but he's making a lot more than artists that are signed, and he's literally been selling it on his own website. And I just thought, just sitting there talking to him and listening to him, that is something that I think more artists should go that route.
I've been trying to talk about that since Bandcamp. It's a similar idea, but they're taking 15%, I think, or something like that. But a lot of these artists, Rock Mars, Griselda,
Rocky,
prior to
early
Shada,
on that shit. Yeah.
A lot of people have been doing the direct first, and
Yeah.
then I'll give you the DSP
Right.
a month later, a couple weeks later, whatever it is.
But y'all do know that only talented people can do that, right?
That's not
Well,
Only
only
people
talented
that
people might
have-
be able to make more money doing it that way, I guess.
I'm saying real talented musicians, rappers, whatever you want to say, that get that core fan base that you got to put in a decade just to get to that point
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you can go direct to consumer. A lot of people that
true.
are focused on making music are not. They're not here for the music. They're here for the money.
That's not
So the
entirely
best
true.
way to go to it for them is to go after the fame factor, and labels get you the fame.
Sure.
So I just don't think that's the best route for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
No,
certainly,
not
but
for everybody. No, but if
I
you
don't
have
even
if
think
you have a
most people-
following, if you have like a substantial following online, I would entertain that more than trying to shop myself to get a major deal.
Completely agree. But having
like
that,
that.
real following online, not a bunch of followers
Real
that
supporters,
buy
supporters.
shit
Yeah,
is a
supporters.
difficult thing.
I remember
Like I just want to make sure we don't put that message out.
No, but that's
of
not-
just
that's
like
not entirely-
you can go right to consumer. Like
that's not entirely
No,
true
no,
because
no,
you
no.
still have to build a fan base no matter what. But I remember when we were talking about getting on versus now versus then. This is part of that argument. But when me and my crew in Elmira in like 2007 were putting out CDs, I would sell a couple hundred CDs in the city, which was only 30,000 people, and make more money than I made in a year with an album that had placements on Dre's playlist on Apple and hundreds of thousands of views and streams. I made more money doing that shit with the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and it's the same concept with doing it on a website direct to consumer or Bandcamp, even though they take a cut. Same concept.
Right.
So yeah, the DSPs is a thing, but work on building a fan base, whether it's in real life or virtually, and go direct, and then sell the shit on Apple.
Right.
Because even as someone who consumes music and likes to support music, I still just be streaming a lot of people's shit, and no one gets paid really well off that.
Right.
But if you put it somewhere where I gotta buy it first, I'm gonna buy. I bought Rock Morrissey shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I buy people shit when it drops on their website first. I'll give you the $10, $20, $30, whatever the fuck it is. I don't care. But anyway, a huge build a fan base.
While I'm at it, because I'm on a short rant now, but while I'm at it, for the podcasters out there, I'll just speak about my experience. These benchmarks, it's nasty. It's nasty out there, y'all. If you haven't experienced it, it might come later in your journey. These benchmarks are unattainable. They are unreachable. And at our peak at Spotify might have been $1 million an episode. When these benchmarks come in and say they'll pay you an additional $20 million if you average 2 million listeners.
even if they're attainable, they'll find a way to cross collateralize.
Just let it sit. There is no even if. It's not. It's not. Period. So if you're a company and you were willing to pay the $40 million for the 2 years if you hit the unreachable benchmark, which you weren't because you know the benchmark is unreachable, then fucking pay it in full. Just pay it in full. I've encountered that almost everywhere, and that hasn't even been my main issue. You want to talk about the due diligence it took? I'm wrapping this up, man. Podcasters be thinking, first of all, we'll never get the relationship with the advertiser because it's not meant for us to have it.
Eventually.
Hopefully. If you're good. There's 5%
let's not say
there's
that.
5% of podcasters that make money from their podcasts. Maybe 10 the most.
Also depends your definition of money, but I agree. Go on.
Any money. There are 10% of podcasters that make any money from their podcast. And if I'm wrong, because I haven't checked it in a few months, maybe 15% the most. But one of my other issues is these platforms that sell ads against us and not for us. And that took a long time to learn as well. See, I thought when we got to Spotify, and this is not a Spotify rant, but they're my example. I thought when we got to Spotify that we would be such a prominent piece of audio that they would see the benefit in soliciting the ads just for us and learning how we should do them and seeing how much money we could bring. Mm-hmm. But that's not how it works. They take the numbers of all of the podcasts from the platform, they sell it for some large amount that goes to the platform, and they divvy it up how they see fit to podcasters. One of y'all tell me where it makes sense. Anybody.
I don't know how to do that.
It doesn't. That's it. I'm done because I don't want to depress anybody.
No, this is a celebratory day.
I'm celebrating. I'm up. It's up and it's stuck.
I'm happy that you have that position. I think it's tailor made for you as your friend. I couldn't be more happy. Congratulations. This isn't a sad thing at all. This is great. This means all the things that you have done that appeared to be angry Joe were not done in vain. I'm not even trying to be funny.
I know. I know what you mean.
I
know what you're saying.
I'm not joking at all. Listen, I show gratitude differently, like to my loved ones. I'm really happy for you. Like, this is great. I think this is really dope for you.
This is lit, man. I couldn't be more proud. When you in the process of it, you're too busy in the process that you don't appreciate the process.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be these rare occasions like today.
Or appreciate the process, and sometimes you appreciate it more than the actual ending.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is good, man. Listen, you niggas gonna need Robitussin all year. Y'all gonna be sick all year. This is not the end. I have way more shit to announce. It's coming.
This was the original point that we can't change. We could change the subject not to this.
It's coming. Y'all better hope this next one don't.
But why you care? Why you care? That's what I was saying in the beginning. Like, yeah, when the Spotify thing happened, and just plenty of things within our podcast of people just spewing weird lies and things that weren't true and judgments of things they didn't understand. Who cares?
Me.
I have no interest in proving people wrong, only proving people right. If you was here from the jump and understand it and believed in it, I'm here to prove you right. I don't give a fuck what some weirdo says on the internet that doesn't understand a fucking thing or just wants to spew lies for the fuck of it.
Well, I do now that so many people die and we have to read so many comments from idiots on the internet. And then it's like, wait a minute, man. That guy was amazing for 95 years. And with a click of a button, you erase that.
No. I care about the funeral and who's there and what they know, not who the fuck on the internet on my death day. Fuck y'all.
I once felt like that, Rory.
Like, what are y'all talking about?
I guess in these...
My legacy matters to people that matter to me, not to anybody else.
That's wrong.
Nah, fuck that.
That's wrong.
Fuck that.
Unfortunately,
fuck
that's
that.
wrong.
I can make so much change
That's
and people
wrong.
not know it, and it doesn't bother me at all. You know how many Palooza rants I could have gone on of people that hate me, that I got money because of it and changed the entire thing, and I don't? Because I don't care. The people that know, and that's all that matters.
I don't care today.
My legacy matters to the people
right.
that I care about.
I haven't cared the way that you are speaking of. Know when I cared? When I caught COVID and was scared to go to bed because I might die the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
I care when I see people that were great their whole lives and they die. And then I got to come to grips with what the word legacy means. And when I do that, it's not specific to the people that like you. It's to the people that don't like you as well. Legacy is the overall view of the field in what you have done.
Legacy is actions.
So it's
tangible shit that happened to change people's lives. Not people that would have hated you anyways and would just say whatever the fuck typing on a computer or talking in front of a screen. Tangible actions that happen is a legacy.
I disagree with that.
What you've done with podcasting has actively changed people's lives. That's a thing. No matter what, people are going to type on the internet no matter what. Who gives a fuck? You know what happened with actual people in real life. That's a legacy.
I want to revisit
That's
this with
a
Rory,
legacy.
like a few years from
Your mentions ain't a legacy.
Like
Savon, mark that down.
I used to be. I want to. No, for real. Do write it down because I want to talk to Rory about this in a few years. I felt exactly like him for so long. I'm not going to debate him on it because I felt like that for so long. I just don't know if that's. I don't know if I feel like that today.
I don't give a fuck what people say on the internet.
It depends on who's saying it.
It's that simple.
That-
I don't
that's
even give a
what-
fuck.
that's
I don't
funny.
even care who's
But
saying
I
it.
ain't talking about the
It's
internet.
a small amount of people on there.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
It's
about the
usually
internet.
someone with 7 followers. and
I'm
a
still
bunch of
not
numbers
talking
to
about
it.
the internet though.
You got a million followers too.
The field, the world.
Yeah, but the world, a lot of times they don't get to know you for real. They just know your work and what you do. They don't know the person.
Let me use your bar against you. one of my favorite freestyles from you is
I was depressed. I was toxic. I was suicidal. I was just talking.
It's the No Church in the Wild freestyle. How could I expect third parties to know the half? Your legacy within media, podcasts, all that, it's not meant for everyone to understand. They're going to have judgments from the outside looking at shit. Music, creative, anyone, let's not even make it specific to you. But if people don't fully understand the field, but the field is popular, you're always going to get a bunch of people that don't know shit. I don't care about my legacy to them. They don't know a fucking thing about it.
I do.
All right.
They have to be included. Hey,
they're included,
hey,
but the matter in a legacy isn't much to me.
You could be an idiot, and you may not have liked Martin Luther King, but you know he did some important shit. May not have liked Tiger Woods, he was a cheater. You know he did some great shit. Steve Jobs when he died. Steve Jobs when he died. Everybody say, oh, he treated people like shit. He's an asshole. Oh, he's horrible. He didn't understand people. He was too much of a genius to really get to it. And then I was like, pardon me. That's what they said. But you know he changed the world. Your legacy is going to be one or the other. If one message is more widespread than the other, then that is your legacy, unfortunately.
And if Tiger Woods, Martin Luther King, and Steve Jobs focused on the people that didn't understand their vision, we wouldn't be here today. So I think that retort wasn't really what I was saying at all. I disagree with that too. I think that these people's life mission was about people that didn't agree with what they said. No. I said focus. No. Of course, these people don't understand it. I get it, and I'm going to change it. But to focus on a negative opinion or someone that doesn't understand a vision and think I'm only solely here to focus on someone that hates me. No, that's not how you move in your legacy. Your legacy is going to end up... Matter of fact, you have no choice of your legacy. That's for other people to decide. That's not for you to decide. You'll be dead. So when you focus on shit that is negative, focus on your vision and the people around you that believe in it, and the rest will figure itself out.
My thing, it's always this simple to me. You do the work, you try to live life being a good person, having a good heart, and then when it's all said and done, you look up, you'll land right where you're supposed to be. To me, it's that simple.
I agree.
You can't focus on the journey. You just got to go, and whoever's going to go, they're going with you. Whoever's going to follow, they're going to follow you. Whoever's going to benefit is going to benefit from it. But
I really hate when Maul lets me and you argue for 30 minutes, then combines our points together and comes in at the end with something so prolific. And you are profound.
Hit us with the Morpheus. How you Morpheus in some 40 below?
You are profound, buddy.
Yeah, you got. I mean, I let y'all get y'all shit off, but that's ultimately what it is, man. You got to do the work. Just have a good heart. And when it's over and you look up, you'll be right where you're supposed to be.
And just know you can fight.
That always helps. When you know
like
you can
that's
punch
always
in the face.
Like when you just know.
Yeah, that helps.
Like, my hands work.
Mm-hmm.